Hello and welcome to a fall book haul. Oh wait, I need to get 1 second. A spooky mug. Okay, now it's a fall book haul. Today we are doing a little fall fit, of course. I just got this shirt from All Things Lillian, who I've been obsessed with recently. And then I was gonna put on jeans to wear with this shirt. And then I realized my pajama shorts have little orange bears on them. I don't know if you can see them, but we're doing a little pajama day for this book haul. And Luca is a package muncher. He loves plastic. So if you see me going like this, I'm trying to keep him away from eating all the packages. Oh. Okay, there are no packages for you to eat back there, so that's perfect, Luca. He has self-grounded himself. Oh, you saw my recent video, of me trying to decrease the amount of books I own. You may be like, why are you now doing a book haul? So I only ordered 4 books out of all the ones in this video. The rest are books that were sent to me. And the 4 books that I did purchase are all books that will help me finish series that I'm in the middle of. So I feel like it's productive to purchase books if they complete another goal. Is that a little bit of like girl math? Hurting one goal but helping another? Maybe. Okay, let's start opening. I'm so excited to read Wild Eyes. This is the second book in the Rose Hill series. It does take place on like a ranch in a small town, which I feel like is really as fall as a romance book gets, and it's orange, so it is automatically fall. And this book follows Wes, who's a single dad. We got to meet him in book 1, and I believe the female love interest is a country singer. And literally the first description of Wes, our male main character, is that the man is a shameless flirt. He oozes confidence and masculinity in a way that's downright distracting. Do you need to know more than that about Wes Beaumont to want to read his story? Okay, Curse of the Wolf King. So this is a part of the Entangled with Fae series. In this series, I started off with book 2 and then I read book 3, and now I want to go back and read book 1. But each can be read as a standalone, so it's like not that big of a deal that I went out of order. And they're all fairy tale retellings. Like book 2 is Cinderella, but they're Fae, and then book 3 is The Little Mermaid, but she's a Selkie instead of a mermaid. So they all kind of like have their own twist, which I really like. Like you can see nods to the original fairy tale, but it still has enough newness that you still don't know like what's gonna happen or where the story's gonna take you. And this one is Beauty and the Beast. Okay, I actually did not know that. It says he's like beastly and brooding and he hates humans. And when the curse is broken, he'll return to his true form, which is a wolf. So when the curse is broken, instead of becoming human, he turns into a beast. Wait, that's cool, because then if they do fall in love and break the curse, then he'd be a wolf. And then like, how would they be together? But see, that's what I mean. It's like the original story, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Next one. New release, Promise Me Not by Megan Brandy. This is the second book after Say You Swear. It's a duology, and it follows the main girl and Say You Swear's brother. And the first book in this series is sad. It was like heartbreaking, and I expect nothing less with this book. It says, she lost the love of her life and the father of her unborn son, but can Avix U's new quarterback make her believe in happily ever afters again? This book and the first book have a ton of tropes that I really like. College romance, sports romance, it's football romance. And the first book, Say You Swear, was my only 5-star read of September, so hoping that this one is 5 stars as well. All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd book in the Natural series. I love this series so much. This series is so perfect for fall. It's mystery thriller. Such a fun concept. Basically, these teens with special abilities get recruited by the FBI to help them solve cases. They all live in this house, solve crimes together, messy love triangles. Like, it's just so great. The first book too is so fast paced. I read it in like 5 hours. You can read it in 1 sitting. And I just went to Canada for 9 days with my mom. It was just like a girls trip, and I gave my mom the first book, The Natural, and the second game, Killer Instinct, and she read both of them while we were on that trip, and she loved them. And so now me and my mom can buddy read All In, the 3rd book, together, which I think is going to be so cute. Okay, now on to packages that I did not order. Some of these I have opened and I already know what's in them, and a lot of them I have no idea what's in these packages. And I have to start with maybe the coolest package I've ever received. This is a big one. It's from Spotify and Ali Hazelwood, and it's in honor of Two Can Play, which is Ali Hazelwood's new book. It's just an audiobook right now, and then I believe she said it's gonna be a physical book at some point in the future, and I also believe it's a novella. Okay, the opening description is an enemies to lovers spicy romance set in the world of video gaming. I'm already hooked. So our main character is designing a video game based on her all-time favorite book series, which is such a great setup, and then her co-lead on the game design is also her arch nemesis. Their boss insists a wintry retreat is the perfect team building exercise. Now I'm like, wait, do I want to read this book now or do I want to save it for winter? I got some really cool goodies to celebrate the book's release. Oh my gosh, this is so big. I got a mug that's just black and I'm pretty sure if I put it in the microwave, it will have an image. That's my guess of what's happening here. Also a 2-can-play candle, a coloring book and colored pencils, which I'm actually so excited for. This sounds like the perfect activity to do while I'm listening to the audiobook. This light, which is gonna be so fun on my bookshelf. And then I haven't turned this on and started playing it yet, but also a game box, which also would be fun to do while I listen to the audiobook. This literally feels like Christmas. A peppermint hot chocolate kit. Okay, now I feel like I have to save this for winter. Wear these 2-can-play fuzzy socks and snuggle up with this 2-can-play blanket. Like, they spoiled me with this package. Ooh, this looks like a mystery. This is called The Bitter End by Alexa Dawn. It says 8 teens, 1 blizzard, 0 exits, and a killer on the loose. Okay, another one that's like cool for winter and fall, like mystery thriller in a wintry setting. And I love a mystery thriller where the characters are forced together, where like despite your first instinct being to like run away, the characters can't. 1 blizzard, 0 exit, so I'm guessing they can't leave. Next up, I know what's in this box. And here is The 13th Child by Erin A. Craig. Erin A. Craig also wrote House of Salt and Sorrow, which I desperately need to read. It literally sounds so good and it's been on my physical TBR for a while. Her new book is a young adult romantasy and I've heard it described as like gothic fairy tale. It has magic, gods, and basically our main character Hazel has like a very unique gift, and because of that gift she's sent at 18 to save the king. And then the male love interest is the prince. I love a prince love interest in fantasy. Honestly, my 2 favorite kind of love interests in fantasy books are a prince or a thief, which are very opposite, but both like such interesting characters in very different ways. Oh my gosh, there's so many books in here. Wow. Holy moly. There's 5 books in that box. I did not expect that. And all mystery thrillers, it looks like. Okay, the first book is Ivies. I'm hoping to go to like an Ivy League university or something like that because I feel like kind of like an academic setting is cool for mystery thriller. Okay, literally right at the beginning it says, Olivia always knew the Ivies were ruthless. Not Ivy League universities, the Ivies, 5 senior girls at Claflin Academy who will stop at nothing to get into the college of their dreams. But then one of the Ivies is found dead hours after getting into Harvard. That's a really fun plot. This book is like just over 300 pages. I honestly love like a short mystery. This cover is terrifying. It's called Old Wounds by Logan Ashley Kistner. Oh my gosh, this plot is freaky. We have Aaron and Max, who are 2 transgender teens trying to get to California, and they find themselves in the middle of the woods in small town Kentucky, and they realize the locals need a female sacrifice for the monster that lives in the woods. According to the locals, the sun won't come up again until the monster eats a girl. That is wild. Okay, this cover is stunning. I'm obsessed with it. It says The Monstrous Kind. So this book follows Merrick, and she's the daughter of the Manor Lord of Sussex. There's this toxic fog, and there's phantoms, and then her father dies, so her sister inherits the manor, and then her sister goes missing. And there's also a string of attacks, as well as other manor lords who are watching for their weakness. So that's like a lot going on, all while her sister is also missing. And I just googled this book as well, and it says that it has romance. I wish it would have kind of hinted at what the romance would be in the synopsis. You guys know I'm like a romance girl. That definitely is like my favorite part of any book, even if like the main genre isn't romance. So I wish I knew like what potential romance plot could be in this book. Next is Signed, Sealed, Dead by Cynthia Murphy. And our main character is Paige, who's true crime obsessed. I love that as someone who also likes to watch a lot of true crime. And she just moves to her father's eerie childhood home where she uncovers the town's dark history, a string of unsolved murders and disappearances from the 90s. I love a book with like a eerie setting, especially a house, like this creepy house that has this like creepy history, and like this whole town that has this creepy history. And then the last book in this package is Practical Rules for Cursed Witches. Witch books, obviously always a great fall hit. Ooh, okay, just read the summary, and this one is a fun plot. So we have Bia, who's a witch, and the women in her family are cursed to never find true love, and she wants to set out to break the family curse. And then she meets Kieran and Briar, who are twins, and their family is also cursed to where every generation a pair of twins are doomed. One twin drains the life and magic of the other twin. I guess like slowly over time, because it says Kieran grows weaker while his sister Briar becomes something monstrous. But the twins' family does not actually want the curse broken, so they send hunters after the trio to ensure they fail. And then it sounds like we have a queer romance because it kind of hints at some romance subplot with Delilah and Briar, which sounds very cute. Then like the movies and Better Than the Movies. I have already read Better Than the Movies, and I was looking through my bookshelf and I couldn't find a copy of the book. I don't think I own one. I guess I read it as a library book. So very cool that they sent me both of the books, because now I have a copy for my bookshelf. And I love Better Than the Movies. If you haven't read it, I give it 5 stars. One of my favorite young adult romances. It's by Lynn Painter, who I also love all her romance books. And Better Than the Movies is such a great like love letter to romance lovers. Our main character, she loves romance movies, so there's tons of like references to romance movies. And then it has a really cute plot. Basically, Liz and her next door neighbor always like have been annoyed with each other. So flash forward to their senior year of high school. Liz has a crush on Michael, who is friends with Wes, her annoying neighbor. So Wes decides to help Liz like try and get her crush Michael to take her to prom. And then this book, it, like fully can be read as a standalone. I had no idea that there was going to be a sequel when I read this book. I will say my only reservation about reading Nothing Like the Movies is I don't feel like Better Than the Movies needs a sequel. So I'm like, what if the sequel isn't as good as the first book? But also like I love Lynn Painter and she's such an amazing writer, so I can't imagine that happening. And then in this book, the two main characters are in college and I don't like quite know the plot. It's like rare that I would read a romance book where the two main characters start out already together. I'm assuming they're gonna like break up, have some conflict, things like that. But other than that, I don't really know what to expect. And I kind of want to keep it that way and just go in blind with this one. Next, this package is from Source Books. And it's a Lucy Score book. I love Lucy Score. And this one is called The Body in the Backyard. So also great for fall. And it says, her self-absorbed ex-husband, so we've got a second chance romance, careening back into her life was not on the psychic amateur detective's bingo card. What a setup. I will say second chance romances are generally not my favorite. I think it's like more fun when the characters meet for the first time. But I do love Lucy Score and I'm sure she writes an amazing second chance romance. And the fact that the main character, it says she's a psychic amateur detective is wild. And I love that for her. And I'm sure we've got a murder with The Body in the Backyard title. Next package, The Serpent and the Wolf. And it says that this book is a romantasy. It's steamy, it's a slow burn, and it's enemies to lovers. Like, you couldn't describe any more elements that I love in a book ever. That's perfect. Oh, and there's a false marriage. I love fake dating too. Okay, I'm hooked. Okay, so our main character has this dark magic, and I guess the dark magic can like unintentionally kill people, question mark, because it says that she has lost her mother to a dark magic that has since awoken within her, and then her brother marries her off to this guy who's a foreign ruler, and she does not want to be in this marriage, and so he offers her a deal. He says that if she helps him win the votes to rise in power, then she can walk free, and in exchange, he will help to keep the dark magic running through her veins at bay. But then of course, they start to have an attraction towards each other that causes them to like maybe break the rules of the arrangement. And her brother also has like this political scheme going on where he wants to take over the nation of the guy that she's married off to. So I love also like politics and scheming, and it seems like that's a big part of it too. And this is the debut book by the author Rebecca Robinson, so very cool that it's her first book, and it literally sounds so good. I'm actually really excited to read this book. Next up, a very bright cover. This book is called Happy Head, and it says that Seb has been invited to join a new experimental mental health center called Happy Head, designed to solve unhappiness. He and his fellow participants will compete in a program meant to test their abilities so they can ultimately face the challenges of the real world. But it says something sinister is at play, and as the assignments take a dark turn, it becomes impossible to ignore the voice in his head telling him that even if he wins, there might be no way out. That's freaky. Dystopian books are fun. I feel like dystopian books are extra scary because it's like, this could happen in our future. This box is a big box. This is the meant to be a Disney Books collection. There are 4 books in here. If the Shoe Fits, which I've read, I think I read this as a library book, so I don't think I own it, so this would be fun to put on my bookshelf. And this one is fun. I liked it. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars, something around there. It's a Cinderella retelling, and it also takes place in a reality TV show, which is fun. She's the first and only plus-size contestant on Before Midnight, and it turns her into a viral sensation and a body positivity icon overnight. And then she's competing in a way with like, I think it's like 20 other women for the male love interest heart on the show. And I watch a lot of reality dating shows, love reality dating shows. So I think this is the first book I've ever read that takes place on a reality show. Kiss the Girl, I have not heard of before. Our main character is Ariel, so it's like a Little Mermaid retelling. And it says Ariel is one of the most famous singers in the world. And then it says that she sneaks off as an anonymous merch girl on the summer tour of an up-and-coming band, fronted by dreamy lead singer Eric Reyes. And it's kind of giving like a Hannah Montana moment. I guess on stage she wears like a red wig and she has like the specific outfit like giving, you know, Ariel from the Little Mermaid. So takes off her wig, goes as like the anonymous merch girl. He's up and coming, but then she's already famous, but he doesn't know that. Like, it's just like a good complicated but fun dynamic. And then buy the book. I always see this book at the bookstore and I always think about getting it, so it's so great to now own it. And this is like inspired, I think, by Beauty and the Beast, because our main character is Isabel, like Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and she works at a publishing house. I always love books where the characters love books. And then there's this beastly high-profile author who has failed to deliver his long-awaited manuscript, and Isabel is assigned on the task to go to his Santa Barbara mansion, give him a pep talk or 3, get him to finish this book and send it in. And that just sounds so cute. It just sounds really cute. I can't believe I haven't bought this book sooner. It's great to own it. And then Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. I actually was already sent this book, so this is a duplicate. Did not know they were sending it to me again. So I'll probably put this book in like a free little library, but this one is inspired by Tangled, and I'm pretty sure it's a college romance, and they also go on a road trip. So cute little set of all fairy tale romances. This book is called Deadly Occupants by Mads Rafferty, and we've got a Ouija board on the back. Very spooky. I like it. Oh, so Halloween. A haunted house tour on a Halloween night with 3 of her college best friends takes a twisted turn as Blair barely escapes with her life. The night may have ended, but the horrors are just beginning. I love a college romance. I personally love haunted houses. I love Halloween, so like all of that together is great. Soon after, their own home seems to come alive. Like the house is coming alive. Did I read that correctly? That's crazy. Blair discovers that the house isn't the only thing haunting her, but also her past. Spooky. I like that the plot like is giving me enough to intrigue me, but it's also vague enough to where I have no idea like what really is gonna happen or where the plot's going. The next book is Silent Sister, and it's got blood on the cover, so it's giving spooky. And the first opening line is 2 sisters went missing on their class trip, Grace and Maddie, but then Grace is found alone, injured, and with no memory of what happened, and everybody thinks she's lying. It's hard not to look guilty with Maddie's blood on her clothes. That is a tough setup for Grace. And it says Grace is desperate to save her sister and prove her own innocence, so she has to piece together what happened on that school trip. That's cool. I like that setup a lot. I wonder if her memory is gonna come back to her as she's like uncovering things, like if that will trigger her own memory. Next package. This book has sprayed edges. I love. And dragons! I haven't read a dragon book since Fourth Wing. I'm excited. Adult romantasy series. Again, like speaking my language. And we also have what sounds like enemies to lovers and fake marriage. Basically, our main character, she lives in the palace, but she's not a part of the royal family. And then this guy Fell, who's a brutal warrior, descends on her home. And to save the princesses from a fate worse than death, she, I guess, like takes their place to don a veil and marry the brutal warrior. And it says their wedding night begins with unexpected passion and ends in near violence when her trickery is exposed. But rather than start a war, he accepts her as his bride. But can he accept the dark secrets she harbors? And then it also says that dragons are extinct, witches are outcast, and humans lust for power. So I love that we have like a lot going on with like the magical world, and she sounds like a female main character I love in fantasy. Tough, down for trickery. This looks like it's another fantasy. The games gods play. And it's not like Greek mythology because right at the beginning we have Zeus. I read like the Lightning Thief series way back in the day and like loved all of the mythology in it, so great to get another book with mythology that I'm like somewhat familiar with. Oh my gosh, okay, why do all these fantasy books, all the plots sound like they could be 5 stars, which is very exciting. Our main character runs into Hades, who has entered the Crucible, which is the deadly contest the gods hold to determine a new ruler to sit on the throne of Olympus. And I love like a deadly competition or something like that in a fantasy book. I think that's so fun. But instead of fighting their own battles, the gods named mortals to compete in their place, and Hades chose her, and she's like, why the heck would Hades choose me? She's just like a nobody. And then he's also the love interest, and I really liked the series, the Hades Persephone series, so another like Hades romance sounds great. Okay, this book is not a fall book, and I actually did order this one. I forgot to put it at the beginning of books I ordered. I ordered this book so long ago and then just forgot to put it in a video, but it has sprayed edges, very fun, and it's by Miss Catherine Center. I read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, absolutely loved it, and need to read another book by her. It's called The Rom-Commers. Oh, beautiful opening page. And I actually don't know what it's about. I just saw Catherine Center and pressed order. Ooh, okay, it's kind of reminding me of How to End a Love Story because both main characters in this book are screenwriters. And I love books that like explore like the behind the scenes of the film world. I was a film major in college, so any like film related things I geek out about. Charlie, the screenwriter, it says he doesn't want to write with anybody. So it seems like we've kind of got, maybe not like full enemies, but like he's not about her. And they're writing a rom-com. And it sounds kind of Grumpy Sunshine because it seems like he doesn't even really like believe in love love, but it says she's not going down without a fight. She'll stand up for herself, for rom-coms, and for love. She will convince Charlie that love stories matter, even if she has to kiss him senseless to do it. Okay, I hope they like do cute like romancy things. Like she like makes him go on fake dates and stuff like that to like convince him that love is real and to like help them write this rom-com screenplay. I have no idea if that's gonna happen, but that would be very cute. This package says Dating Dismemberment, a monster rom-com. I'm scared. Monsters? A romantic comedy. Okay, I feel like the fact that it's like has comedy to it as well kind of makes it fun, like, that they can like laugh at the fact that the characters are monsters. But our main character is Darla, and she's a legendary monster who has haunted the woods around this camp for years until an existential crisis forces her to take a sabbatical from wreaking havoc on pimply teens. And then our male love interest shows up. It says he's conceited, arrogant, infuriating, and kind of hot. And he stakes his claim on this camp, but she refuses to go down without a fight. So in order to reclaim her territory, she challenges him to a series of hunts to see who is the most fearsome monster. That's so cute. Snip, snip. Okay. I like this cover. Looks like a romantasy. It's called Bloodguard. And first sentence is, everything in the kingdom of Arrow is a lie. Our main character, he comes to this new land to fight in the gladiator arena in order to earn enough gold to save his sister. They took everything, his hope, his freedom, and his very humanity. And then he meets Maeve, an elven royal, who is everything he despises, until the alluring princess offers him the one thing he needs most, a chance to win the coveted title of Bloodguard and his freedom. That's a cool premise. So another romantasy, love a fighter type, and like striking up this deal that kind of forces them to work together even though they don't like each other. This book is called Long Live Evil, and it says a tale for anyone who's ever fallen for the villain. That's so fun. No way. Okay, so our main character is dying, and she sees this second chance at living, a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. Is that not every book lover's dream? And I just read a novel love story where the main character enters her favorite romance series town, and I liked that book, but I didn't love it, but I love the concept. So this feels like a second chance for the concept of entering the fictional world of your favorite book. So hopefully this one I like more than a novel love story. Okay, how fun. So it says she wakes in a castle in the fantasy world, and the castle is home to the Emperor, her favorite fictional character. She discovers she's not the heroine, but the villain in The Emperor's Tale. Time to assemble a rogues gallery of villains and hatch an evil plot. So I'm curious if she's still gonna end up with him, or she's just gonna commit to being the villain and just go that route. Either way is great. Okay, then I have 3 packages left, and I don't think any of these 3 are fall vibes books, but hopefully they're still great books. The first one is Close Knit. Oh, they sent me so many little goodies. Oh, a sign by the authors, stickers, some bookmarks, and it says that this is a adult sports romance, Grumpy Sunshine, and Neighbors to Lovers. Oh, how cute. Okay, so he is a brooding goalkeeper, and then she is a radiant knitting influencer, love a cozy hobby, and then kind of like both of them are famous. It says he's running from the paparazzi when he crashes into a mystery girl. All it took was a smile from her and I was a goner. Okay, the only thing is I hope it isn't insta love, but it is fun that boy falls first. And they agree to one night, no strings attached, and no real names. And then he discovers that she's moving in across the hall from him. Next book is Love Requires Chocolate, and it looks like it takes place in Paris. So our main character is Whitney, and she's having an epic semester abroad, kind of giving me Kisses and Croissants, which I really like. That's a very cute book. But it says she ends up struggling to juggle schoolwork, homesickness, and mastering the French language. Cue the entrance of French tutor and male love interest, a grumpy yet handsome soccer star who's determined to show Whitney the real Paris. Adorable. Okay, last package. And I believe we have 4 books in this box, and all 4 are a part of the Perks and Benefits series. There's Water Under the Bridge, Our Scorching Summer, On Cloud 9, and Falling for Meadow. And it sounds like a similar theme with the series, that they're kind of like office work related romances, and I don't think they're connected at all. I think they can all be read as standalones. Like Water Under the Bridge, she is working at a struggling startup and enters this competition that promises a multi-million-dollar prize that could save her new team from sinking. But of course, Luca, the male love interest, is also in the running for the competition. So like workplace competition. And then Falling for Meadow seems like a second chance romance, like they have a history together. And now 2 decades later, he returns to Thistle Hill, determined to make up for lost time by saving the distillery that's been in my family for generations. So I'm guessing they're gonna like work together to save the family distillery. On Cloud 9, she is actually engaged to be married, but then she finds her fiance in a closet with another woman. And it says, but it's fine, her wedding day day will bring a $50 million trust. And then her office crush declares in front of everyone that he loves her and offers to marry her instead. And it sounds like it's gonna be a fake marriage so she can get her trust. And this is the only one that doesn't seem like necessarily an office or like work romance. It seems like both of our main characters are not interested in settling down, getting married. It says they're both players, and he is her best friend's brother-in-law, so he's strictly off limits and they're just friends. And one out of character decision later, she finds herself on an international adventure with the irresponsible playboy. And that is all the books in this fall book haul. As always, let me know if there's any books that you guys have read and are like, you must read it right now. I think the ones I'm most excited to read next are, of course, all the books that I ordered to help me finish the series I'm in the middle of. And then The Serpent and the Wolf sounded like very, very good romantasy, as well as did A Fire in the Sky and The Games Gods Play. I think I've just been in a really big romantasy mood recently. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!